sports.
Hey, Colby. How are you today?
Good.
You're good? Well, I'm so glad that you're going to join us and tell everybody a little bit more about yourself so we can get to know you and hopefully learn about how you make decisions, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Colbys Fraternity. I am 22-year-old, and I go to Birmingham, Alabama.
What are some things you enjoy doing?
I love going outside, look at nature, hang out with friends, going to church.
Anything else? How about sports and music?
Sport, Alabama football.
Yeah, big Alabama football fan, I know. And tell us about what kind of things you did with music, especially when you were in high school.
I was in percussion, ran cymbals, and bass drum.
All right. And so tell us a little bit about when you were born, if you can remember that far back, when you were a little boy.
I love sports, running, and nature for most of my life. My mom say I was like Energizer Bunny.
Energizer Bunny, yeah.
I have a lot of energy when I was little.
Yes,
when I was born, I have a hard time eating, walking, talking. My doctor said I could start therapy when they found out I have seizures when I was 4-year-old. They say I had CP. I didn't know what that was, but I knew my body was not listening to my brain, and I couldn't always do things I wanted to do that did not slow me down, and it made me loner.
Very good. It did make you a lot stronger. You're very strong. So tell us a little bit about some of your favorite things. Who were your favorite people when you were young?
I want to be like Steve
Irwin
and Chef Coranan. Once I was little, my favorite movie is Dolphin Tale. One time for Halloween, I dressed up like Steve Irwin, and I love it. I got to meet the actor on the movie Dolphin Tale last year and met the real dolphin named Winter.
You did. That was fun. Got to pet it, touch it, talk to him. That was awesome. All right. So when you were younger and we were still watching you learn how to walk and talk and eat, I remember we would go to speech therapy every day after school for a really long time. And one time in the speech therapy session, you got frustrated with me because you said, "Mom, I wish you would go to listening therapy." Do you remember that? Yeah? So tell us a little bit about what that was like and what you remember from when you were little.
I took a long time for my parents to understand me. I wish they had to go to listen therapy when I had to go to all my speech therapies. I want to do the same things I could see my friends doing, but sometimes my mom or dad were too scared to let me try. I did not like that. I want to try.
You wanted to try. And I was kind of scared to let you try things. You felt like I wasn't listening to you sometimes. Yeah. And so that's called, when we talk about those moments, those things, that's called the dignity of risk. We've talked about that. But just the idea of letting somebody try something, even though it might be scary for us, it's important. It was important to let you try to do things anyway, right? So it took us a while to learn that as his parents, but glad that we did. And as soon as we started practicing providing the dignity of risk, then we started really seeing what you could do.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so let's see. After that, we learned to ask different questions. Do you remember that?
My mom said we found Lauren, we had to change our thinking and ask different questions.
So instead of saying, I don't think you should play soccer, you might get hurt. I don't know if we should do that. Should we do that? Then I would have to ask, how can you play soccer and still stay safe? Do you remember playing soccer when you were little? That was a big step for Mom. Maybe not for you, but it was a big step for me. So that's when I saw how good you were at playing soccer, right? And a lot of things happened before that kind of helped you realize you could do that. So in the pictures where you're walking with your brother and you're on the ski slopes and you're driving the golf cart, what are those things you're doing there?
Good things happen after they let me drive. I can carry my brother and I can snowboard and I can drive a golf cart.
Yeah, we saw you starting to do a lot of things. So when we started to believe in you, you started to believe in yourself, and there was a lot more that you could do, and we call that presuming competence. We could see how competent you were, right? And so then, after we started seeing how much you could do, you were on fire. You started doing all kinds of stuff. You were taking your studies seriously. You were up in front of people talking. You were playing in the band, all kinds of stuff. So tell us a little bit about what led to that.
At first, the doctor wanted me to do a
Botox.
And checking to make my legs and feet work. But there was another way that was a surgery, and it could work faster, but I had to go to sleep. My mom said I was so active that she could tell me till I want to hurry up and walk so I could one.
That's right.
I have a big surgery when I turned 5 and I've worked.
And it worked, yeah. The surgery was an extensive surgery, and it wasn't the first thing the doctors recommended. But what the doctors were recommending was a Botox and stretching and physical therapy. And while that may have been a good idea, it was also going to take a really long time. And they said that maybe by the time you turned 12, it would have worked itself out and you could walk and run. But I could tell with how fast you were moving and how determined you were that you weren't going to wait till you were 12. That was not happening. So I kind of watched you, and you kind of alerted me to whatever's going to happen needs to happen now. So we opted for that big surgery, the Shark Attack SDR surgery. And after that, then we realized there's going to be a long recovery time. And that was about a whole year, right? And so that experience was one of those defining moments in your life. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
People who took my picture always asked when I was going to walk. My mom say any day now, but the doctors could say we don't really know what. That the moral mindset.
Yeah, the medical model mindset. We kind of got stuck in that frame of mind a lot of times, thinking about what you couldn't do instead of thinking about what all you could do and ways to make it happen, right? So tell us a little bit more about that time in your life.
I don't remember these seriously, but I remember using real there and making it roll. I like moving fast. People say, "Look at him go." That the social model mindset.
Yeah, that was the social model mindset that created capacity. And instead of people asking, what's wrong? How can we fix this? It was all about, look at him go. Look how well he's doing. And we figured it out, right? You got there. All right. And so tell us what happened next.
Once my feet and legs work the right way, I did a lot more fun stuff with other people.
Yeah. So in the social model mindset, we were looking at accommodations. We were finding ways to make things work. So if you think about it, when people wear a life jacket in the water, that's kind of an accommodation because it's helping them swim, right? Helping them stay afloat. The mobile unit for an EEG, so that you don't have to be stuck in a hospital and stay in the hospital bed. You can walk around and do things. That's another kind of accommodation. Another kind of accommodation was when the band was marching, if you got too tired, then you were able to carry the banner and still be part of the band, right? Yeah. So most of the time, even though you were marching with an instrument for long parades like in Washington, D.C., we made it work. And that idea, that mindset's the social model mindset. So tell us what else you could do and how you were finding friends.
I want to do everything with my friends that I could see they were doing, but other people did not always let me. I did not think that it was fair, and I got my feelings hurt sometimes.
Yeah, getting left out's hard, isn't it? And when that happens, we call that segregation. That's the fancy word for it, but it just means leaving somebody out. And unfortunately, that started happening a lot, but we kept trying to listen to you, and you were telling us, I want to be included. So we tried to practice what we had learned, giving you the dignity of risk, presuming competence, and applying the social model mindset. And we eventually, especially through band, got to where it was all about inclusion, real inclusion, right? So tell us about how you got to band.
In 8th grade, my teacher named Mr. Sussman told my parents that I could drive band, so I did, and I liked it. Then in 9th grade, I tried out for cushion, and I made it. This was one of the best parts of high school because I made new friends.
Mm-hmm. And when you were in band, tell us about what you did when you were in band.
Going to games, competitions with my friends made me very happy. We won a lot of competitions and people got scared when they knew we were coming because
Why did people get scared?
Because we always beat them.
We would always win.
We went to Carnegie Hall in New York City, Civil War, in Washington, D.C. together. We had a lot of fun. One night, my freshman year, at the last band concert, the senior told everyone what they were going to do out for high school. That is when I learned everybody was going to college. I told my mom I wanted to go to college too.
Yeah, I remember when you came home that night after the band concert and said, Mom, I'm going to college too. And at first that scared me again. I was like, what? I don't know how that's going to happen. And I got really nervous, and I started doing research, and you kept saying over and over again, Mom, we got to go look at colleges. All my friends are looking at colleges. Let's go. So we did, and we looked at how many different colleges did we end up visiting?
5 different colleges I knew. I want to go to Bishop, Alabama.
You ended up at the University of Alabama because that's what you chose, right? After we looked at all the different places, this was your favorite.
I fly, and they like me, and I start in Summer Ridge with them, and like it. I did a very good job there. GAs and the mentors were nice. They believed in me too.
I remember that. That was a really good experience. Another defining moment when you saw that you were away from us and doing great. And I got to see how other people invested into you and your life and your decisions. And I wasn't trying to do it so much. So it helped me step back and other people lean in, and you kind of started guiding the way on your own. And that was a really good feeling for me, and I was seeing a lot more smiles coming out of you. So having those mentors and that influence, and the GAs at Summer Bridges, and they all had their own job. Remember, you had an employment mentor, you had an academic mentor, you had an independent living mentor, and then you did a lot of fun stuff with some GAs, and all these people were kind of just investing in you, talking about all your different options and asking you what you wanted, and you spoke up and you told them, and that was an eye-opening experience for me to see it didn't have to be me doing that all the time, right? That you were good. So tell us, after that, what happened? We thought you were going in the fall, but
we thought I could start band that fall, but the weather was late.
The program got delayed.
This made it hard to make changes because we did not expect this to happen. So I took a gap year, got a job at home.
And that was hard. And we realized real quick we were going to have to find some people and come up with a plan, right? And that's when I kept talking about, well, Colby, let's see who's in our boat. Our waters are getting rough. We're not sure what's coming, but let's talk to some people and come up with a plan. So we did. And do you remember when we did that? We kind of started searching around and looking for other people who we knew we could trust. We had some really good experiences, some really good history with some people from church, some really good history with some people from your school, and kind of pulled all of that together to say, hey, here's some things that we would like to do. Is there a way you can help us do it? And what did they say?
When I had to stay at home, I learned how to ask for help from people who knew me. Most of the time, they say yes. I learned a lot of good skills like how to cook, self-bake, and various things. And volunteer at the British Oak Mountain Wildlife Center and work injured animals.
Work with injured animals, yeah.
I learned how to find a rainbow.
Yeah, you become an expert rainbow spotter. You found them everywhere that year. I don't know how you did it, but you did.
I made new friends at church and got in small group and got to be on Serve Day. I got my first job at Levitt's, and I still work there today.
Yeah, so that was your first real employment experience where you were getting the paycheck, coming home, making decisions about what to do with the money, right? Felt good, didn't it? So where do you work now? Where's your job right now?
At Levitt's.
You still working at Publix, right? And so you get to transfer back home for the summer, but you've held on to that job for over 2 years now.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So tell us a little bit more about that experience.
When I was living at home and working at Colbys, my mom got a new job too. That when she finally started letting me go, she did. She said it was time to cut
Apron strings, yeah.
And she stopped doing things for me like she used to. I had to cook and do my lunchy.
Yeah. I used to do those things for you. And then when I saw you doing them at college, I said, nope, you can do that. And you did. You did really well.
It not always fun, but it is what adults have to do.
Yeah. And then what happened?
Was easier.
It was. And then what happened?
It was fun. Oh. The next year, I went back to Bama, and that is where I live. Now I live in the dorms with roommates and take better UA classes for Reddit. My major is wildlife measurement.
Yeah.
I will graduate next year with certificate of
occupational
study, the College of Education.
College of Education. That's right. Then what?
As a student at University of Alabama, I love going to all the games, cheering on my team, working at Colbys, and hanging out with my Bucks brothers.
Yeah, you're in a fraternity now. Tell us a little bit about the fraternity. What has that been like?
Being Bucks is so much fun. We had gate night, and I am party and eat s'mores by the fire pits.
That does sound fun. So then tell us about that awesome Skybox game.
My roommate's parents took us up at Skybox.
Was that fun?
For a football game. It was awesome. We won and ate a lot of good food.
Got a little bit spoiled on that day, didn't we? Felt like we were royalty.
I can't wait to graduate and live my own. I am ready now. I know I can do it. I will live my own apartment next year with roommates, and I have football parties.
And have football parties at your apartment? That sounds fun. Can I come?
Yes.
I was just messing with you. I won't. You can do it alone with your friends. That's fine. So tell us a little bit about how you make your decisions, like moving into that apartment. How does that happen for you?
I can make my own decisions now. I can choose who to vote for. I can choose where to live and who I'll live with, and I can choose when to go to bed, what to eat for lunch. I can make big and small ones, and I can ask for help when I need help. Sometimes people come support my channel, and sometimes I use space time in the internet and comments.
Yeah, so sometimes you're talking to people, different people, about decisions you'll make. Sometimes you're making your own without having to talk to anybody. And sometimes you'll just use technology, right, to help you decide, should I take the bus when you're looking at Google Maps, or is it close enough for me to walk, right? So there's lots of different ways you're making your own decisions. Sometimes you get support, sometimes you don't need support. So the bottom line is we're really proud of you for making your own decisions, right? So that's what I really want to focus on right now. So there's a tool, and it has a name. What is one of the most helpful things you keep seeing me and Dad go back to work with you when we talk about your supported decisions?
One very important tools I use to support my children is the life course tools.
Yeah.
You can look those up online.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave that information in the chat, and hopefully everybody will be able to look it up and learn more, because it's a very valuable tool. It's very supportive for decision making, and we like it a lot, and we use it all the time. And one of the ways we use it is with your dream team. You want to tell people a little bit about your dream team?
One big way to make my changes is when I talk to my ring team. Those are people I know they have knew me for a while now. They are expert at what they do, and they volunteer their time when I have depression, need help. I am the function maker on my team, and they are good at listening to me. Those are the people on my ring team.
Yeah, so they're also another way that you get support when you're making your decisions. And you picked the whole team, right? We sat down and we talked about, let's think about ways that you might need help in making decisions. And by using the life course tools, we realized there's 9 different domains throughout our lives. Everybody has them, whether or not we have a disability. And those domains kind of signify or point out ways that we can find out in the community people who are experts in those areas, right? And so we tried to focus really hard on finding people who were experts in one of those areas that we talk about when you look at the life course tools. That is a life domain, right? And so that's how we sat down and we came up with your list of people who's on your team. Do you want to talk about who they are and where they're experts and what they do? Okay.
Sydney Ewers, social community inclusion relation. Chris Stewart is
independent living, yeah.
Hi Martin, health and wellness. Scott Amy Wiley, safety
and security.
Abby Werber, same age bear support.
Right. Who does spiritual growth?
Lorenzo spiritual growth.
And then who does employment and transportation?
Mom and Dad, employment nation.
What about advocacy and citizenship?
Corey Marchant.
Corey Marchant, yeah. So they're all experts at what they do, right? And so when you have a question or you're trying really hard to think about which direction to go or what decision to make, you can talk to any of these people, right? So how often do you meet with them?
We meet together at least once a year, and I meet one-on-one with them at least once a year. But they are able to talk on the phone,
right,
or chat or FaceTime with me anytime I need to talk to them about what they know.
Yeah, so they're always available to you, right? You can pick up your phone or send them a text, but we get really serious about it, and it makes it a big deal that we meet all together once a year to make sure we're all still on the same page and we're all still thinking the same things about what we're trying to support you with. And you come together and tell us, hey, I know that this was my goal, but I reached it. So let's make another one. Like last year, a year ago, your goal was, I want to move out of the dorms and I want to move into my own apartment, which again scared me. But we all talked about it together, and we came up with plans, and we got some expert advice from your independent living support and some other people on your team, and decided, yeah, we think you can do it. We think you should. And where are you moving in August?
East Edge.
And what is that?
A apartment.
It's your own apartment. Yeah. You're going to have roommates, which is another big step, right? And so not only do we meet with them once a year, you can call them up and chat anytime, but you also meet with each person on your team one-on-one every year, right? And that's important just so they can get to know you and you can get to know them, right? All right. So all of that to say, we have learned in a really big way, you have taught us throughout your whole life, one big thing, which is what?
John Maxwell say it takes teamwork to make the team work.
It takes teamwork to make the dream work. Absolutely. We think you've done a really good job with that. And I hope that we can keep sharing that kind of information with everybody so that other families will understand there's a lot more to the supportive decision making, especially when you start talking about team agreements. And maybe you can help teach people how to do that. Sound like a plan? All right. What do you say when you're done?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
We have a few comments in the chat here if you guys want to roll through this. And
Okay.
people acknowledging you if you just want to read them out loud.
Very good. So I've got something from Corey Merchant that says, great self-advocacy, Colby. She's your citizenship and advocacy support, so that's cool. Elijah Crowder sends lots of love. Oh, there's Aunt Whitney. What do you say with Aunt Whitney? Say hey. Say hey back. Good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Anna Lamb, she's saying good morning. This is Mike Lamb. You're doing awesome, Mr. Mike from your small group at church. Oh, you know all these people. Oh, there's Lauren. Lauren's saying great job, Colby. So proud of you. Daryl Powell saying good morning. James Tucker said roll tide. There we go. Thanks for sharing from Heather Sims. Heidi Martin said roll tide. Daryl Powell says thank you. What a great story. Thanks for sharing. Gosh, there's a lot of people here, Colby. And I think you know just about every single one of them. That's all it's scrolling, so I think we got it. If anybody's got any questions, we're happy to share. There's lots more coming in. Thank you for sharing. This is interesting. Aunt Brenda, wave hi to Aunt Brenda. Say, hey, Aunt Brenda. So I think we've got lots of family and friends and some people we don't know. What an inspiring story, Colby. Roll Tide. I think that's Anita Kelly. So, yeah, it's a big world out there. We're using all this tech support to talk to them. Isn't that cool? Very interested. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, we'll say goodbye and thank y'all for joining us. Hope to talk to you again. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.